Well, hey, Life Group leaders, welcome to our new frontier and a little bit of an understanding where we are going to be in this digital world of online groups. Not only now, but maybe for the near future. And the reason why I wanted to connect with you today is to try to give you a little bit more understanding of how you can really make the most of that opportunity, and also to give you a little bit of an understanding of all we've been building in the last couple weeks as you have made the shift from an on-campus or in-person group experience to an online experience. The first is this: I am so encouraged by you. You guys have adapted and been creative and innovative and jumped right in. And that is across the board, from groups that were struggling to connect, who now connect more, to groups that have never done anything online, adopting new technology, making sure they're reaching out, to groups realizing that maybe Zoom or Google Hangouts or Facebook Live and all of the other platforms aren't for them, but just doing a great job of reaching out and checking in on one another via text, via phone call. Proud of you guys and grateful for you adapting in a way that shows, you know what, we are going to be able to be okay and to stay connected in community as a primary value. One of the things I want you to note is that in this email are a couple links and a training video for one of the cool things that has actually developed as a response to all of the transitions to online, which is your group should still take attendance. Now, honestly, I know that that's a difficult extra layer that we just got going, but I want you to know why you should still take attendance is because that helps us and you stay connected with one another. And the same thing is true. If somebody has missed your online meeting for 2 weeks, especially 3 weeks, ring the bell. Ring them on the phone and let us know, because that means that somebody may just be going through a tough time. Maybe they're just struggling with tough times with technology, and we are here to try to reach out and make sure we stay connected. Additionally, the training video that you had included in the email that this is attached to lets you know that there's a cool feature you can do now in attendance where you can go into your group settings and you can actually post the link for whatever platform, if that's Zoom or Google Hangouts or Facebook, whatever it is, where you guys meet online all the time. So instead of putting your address or a campus, you're going to go ahead and actually just list, this is where we meet, so that your group gets the attendance reminder with the link automatically. They can always go back and click that and make sure they attend, even if it's online. The other thing I want you to know about Zoom, particularly, or whatever platform you're using, is many of you as leaders have taken it on yourselves not only to continue to facilitate conversation, to reach out and to care for everybody, but also to be the person who's hosting. And so we've shared some codes, some training, and places and ways for you to kind of become the IT specialist as well. But I just want to de-escalate that pressure point on you. If that is not your gift, if that's not your strength, there is somebody in your group whose it is. And I want to just empower you to use that. Use them in their group and empower them to be the person who hosts. You know, often when we do training, we say you don't need to host, provide the snack, send the reminder emails, lead the lesson, and handle prayer requests. That's more than any one person should do, and it also robs the people in your group of using their gifts to buy in and build up your group. And the same thing is true in a digital group. There are skills that people have. Maybe they're native using WebEx or Zoom every day at work, and now is the time that they can feel like they contribute by using their account, by using their expertise and saying, you know what? They wouldn't normally host your group in their home, but they would be thrilled to host your group online. Give them that capacity and let them be the person who hosts, who handles sending the links, who makes sure everybody knows how to log on and when they're doing that. Same thing's true for prayer requests and for communication. This is a great opportunity that if your skill set is not reaching out to individual members to check in on them, but someone in your group does have that gift, man, empower them to do that. They will not only find joy, but your group will grow in this season if you give away some of the obligations that are really opportunities for someone else. Last thing I want to say about how you're adapting your group is you might be wondering, okay, this was a short-lived thing. Okay, maybe this is something that we're willing to try because we don't want to lose connection. But what does it look like if it's an ongoing connection? And the truth is, you now know that at least for the next 30 days, your group should still stay meeting online. Now, we hope it's sooner than later you can get back together physically on campus or in person. But if this goes another 30 days after that, or another 30 days after that, we want to be prepared to love each other well. And so you've probably moved past the early ground zero moment of wondering, okay, we got together, we checked in on each other, and we just kind of shared, and now we all know what each other's living rooms look like. And wondering, well, what should we be doing as a group? I just want to send you a couple links that you received below and also in this email of some study ideas. But I also want you to know what you're studying is not the most important thing. It's that you stay connected. And maybe this is a season where you do what we've asked you to do at our meeting, what was 4 months ago, where you actually develop one another. And you go to firstchristian.com/discover and make sure that you, first and foremost, and then everyone else in your group takes those assessments. One of the things that's happening in this season is we have more spare time, but we're also all starting to figure out who are we and what are we supposed to do in this world. And we built those with that in mind, and now more than ever is a chance for you to spend time developing one another and discovering who God has created you to be so that you can be the church to one another and where you are at. And so the two that I'm going to say right now more than ever we really would encourage you to do, first is your spiritual gifts test, so that we can help understand how God has wired each of us to maybe fulfill some of those group roles. And the second is actually the skills test. The skills test may not feel very spiritual, but I assure you, it is what our church is mobilizing to do right now. It's a simple 5-minute place where you're going to get a chance to put in, here's what I do for a living. Here's what I love to do. Here's what I'm capable of doing. And here's how I'm able to pitch in. Because the truth that we are realizing as a church that we've always prayed for is you get to be the church where God has placed you. But what we need help with is what you do. We may not know. We may not know the right skills to match up with the right needs. That as this plays out over time, there are people who need you. And we want to be able to recognize when someone indicates a need that they may need a carpenter, they may need a plumber, they may need a physical therapist, they may need an elementary educator. You know, the reality is we are all relying on one another in a new way. And so who you are is exactly who God created you to be, but not just for yourself, not just for your family, but for one another. And the one another's of our faith is what we get to practice every day. So if you're wondering what to do, I'm going to encourage you guys, take the time to do those assessments. As group leaders, there are extra levels of study and discussion that can get you through this season. There's also a great opportunity for you to take a Sabbath and to really care for one another. And the reason why I say that is my last tip. We are actually going to be touching base with you about an all-together group leader meeting on Zoom. And so pay attention to these emails and these videos to let you know when that's coming. It'll be in the next 2 weeks to tell you where we as a church all together are going to be studying and moving post-Easter. But in the interim, I would say between now and Easter, maybe you take a Sabbath. Not from connecting, not from communicating, not from meeting together online, but from study. Because we are going to be in a season where this is kind of your summer break. We typically take time off in the summer. Most groups will pause and just do connections and hangouts. And in the world that we're in now, I'm just going to be honest. This is probably that break, because as soon as we can get back together, it's going to be beneficial for you to gather together again. So know that we're praying for you. Know that we're here to resource you. But in all things, God will work together for the good of those who love him. And we love you. And we know that you love him. And despite what day-to-day may feel like, he is with you. And we are just praying that as you gather, you have an opportunity to be present with those in your life and in your group. If you have any questions, you can always hit us up. We've got more spare time than ever, and so we'll treat it a little bit more like a hotline. But in all things, guys, we are praying for you and proud of you. We'll talk to you soon.